That's my. All right, we're back again in my dark, dark room and dark life, like the Undertaker. And I took a little nap, and I'm back again. Let me let me see that we're live for real, for real. Mm. Damn you, this is really bad. Let me confirm our live.
Took a little nap.
Of course, I've got to look like my own shit. Let's mute it. Mm. All right, we're back. So, one thing I was contemplating is like, I think it's problematic to put the runtime configurations and um, the shared configuration for all the subcommands within the subcommands, because as you might have noticed, we've actually run into some little bit of complexity and stuff. So I have reconsidered putting that as like a top, putting those as top level, putting those. I saw the flash, putting those as like top level like commands and stuff that are like passed as global fields or arguments. So, for example, I considered like doing that off stream, but I thought like why not just share it, even if it's just one person that's gonna watch. So this is a strategy that I'm looking to employ now. So, for example, if you go to, um, let's start with maybe init, because that's the first command, right? When you go to init, we've got the shared all, and I feel it's kind of like unnecessary. We could just basically put this at the top level, and so right here we've got the migration directory, and we've got the verbosity, and there's really no reason for this to be subsumed per command. Secondly, we've got the runtime configuration, and at this point in time, basically every one of them has like runtime configuration. And if you really think about it, we want to instantiate a database once, because when you're running the command, you can only run one command at a time, right? So it just simplifies a lot of things, in my opinion. So I have reconsidered that, and I'll be taking this, for example, runtime configuration. We could set this basically, rather than using the parser, we could set this as an as ags that can then be taken to right here. We could basically just take that here and use it. And but I also would like to set all the fields as global. So we go to configuration. I'd like to make them all global, and the way to specify that is to just say global equals true. So they're all gonna be global now. Anyway, what else am I missing? So db, no method named db. Oh, interesting. I must have missed it from the override. Okay, yeah, say it now. So three of these, then we can redo those. Let me actually see. Let me check the chat just in case. I like keeping yep, everyone is partying on a Saturday night. That's good. That's I. Yep, 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 yep. Um, you're supposed to be entertaining me, aren't you? You're meant to be entertaining me. You're the entertainer now. You're the entertainer. You entertain. Pardon? This week kind of went by quite fast, didn't it? So did AJ actually play? Did you go for the concert where he was playing? Why didn't you? Uh, so you basically lied to me. You basically lied to me that you were going for the concert. I caught you. I caught you in 3D, in 7D. I caught you in 7D. Ha 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 ha! I caught you. You never told me. You never told me that. Ha 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 ha! I caught you. I caught you. You never did. Did you? Did you though? Did you? And actually, when you look at this now, this setup DB class becomes quite redundant, and I would argue we're better off just implementing this as um probably as because with this we could probably do something like are you singing? Oh, what's up, cutie, cutie, cutie? How are you? She's shy. Do you wanna program with me? Would you like to code with me? Hmm? Would you like to code with me? You wanna play with computers? Computers. she's so she's so cute. Reconnection. Because the runtime configuration is actually making use of a lot of things from here, so I guess we could do like option that boom boom. I guess we could do that. Let's strip that off. Sounds like let me see if there is anything happening in the chat room. No? Okay, just trying to be sure. So this starts to get interesting, right? Because when we have the runtime configuration, we can actually do some neat stuff. So we'll do runtime config, and we instantiate that, right? Yeah, we can do basically take all this. We can do something like this time this is gonna be self. It should be. So let's call this like setup or initialize. We can start to do some interesting stuff with that. So for namespace also, okay, for DB we can even make this way, and do something like string from yeah, we don't need that, so I don't need anymore. I mean, if we really wanted to do that, we could. If we wanted to, we could do default equals test. Can't we do the same thing like that there? Okay. The parser is not smart enough for clap. It should be able to handle that, because that's a valid expression also. Let's see. Yeah, we could do the same thing. How's it going? How do you think it's going? It's going great actually. I have quite clear idea of what I'm trying to achieve. Or do you want to join in? You want to join? Yeah. If you if you're gonna join, I can put you on. I can put you on for sure. For sure. Yeah. Okay, so this should be value enum, and if we make that value enum, we actually don't need to. I mean, it's kind of nice to have all this, but if we do that, we don't need to do all this anymore. Let's comment it out in the meantime. Um, 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 the default value could be strict, so that we could make away with that. Mode doesn't implement display. Let's check the documentation. Enums. We could also implement a parser. Can implement a custom parser for it, but then it becomes less. To do something like this, but I kind of don't really like this approach. I don't like this approach much, but I mean, let's give it a shot and let's see how it looks like in practice. Then you do this. So let's just make this into like to do, and rather than putting 16-bit unsigned integer, let's just put in mode here. I still complain about that because oh yeah, this actually takes an expression, so I guess we could do mode strict or even on default, right? So with that, we don't even need a spot parser. I don't think we could do away with the spot parser. So I think I prefer that. Current default is Yep. So maybe that simplifies things a little bit. Then we don't need the unwrap or default everywhere here. Could probably make this a one-liner, because that shouldn't drop it anymore. Oh yes, it's gotta be sync. So what we actually want to do is we want to take TV connection and set it that way, like that. Then we need to make this mutable reference. We need to make this Yep. So this the runtime configuration takes care of that, and it kind of makes sense to have like DB instance being stored there with it. Yep. Default. Do we need this? Maybe not. Take it out in the meantime. Anyway, you can take that off. Maybe take that off also. Oh, we can actually remove this entire setup DB. It feels nice to remove it. Yeah, don't let us duplicate defaults, but let's leave this in the meantime anyway. So let's start with init. So now we're gonna have to remove this, and there isn't a way. We might have to store the connection also, because otherwise I'm not sure. Except we're gonna be taking the database instance as an argument, which is definitely valid. Then that's actually a good way to go. Then that's gonna reduce issues that come with duplicating states, right? So let's give that a shot. We don't need to make this optional. That might simplify things a bit. I know I'm supposed to be writing tests, but this refactor is actually quite necessary. Then or could we just take the CLI itself? I think they should take the CLI if I thought we're gonna be using that. Otherwise, it's gonna be a problem. So we can initialize migration configuration, mode, custom pattern. Okay, we can do like CLI and take this here. So basically we can do and there's something with that. Mode comes from CLI, runtime config mode. Then we've got custom path. Let's just do runtime config. Actually, it's gonna come from yeah, we're gonna take this. Let's check. Maybe help. Basically take that. Yep. We're just gonna take all that and put it in, put that at the top level. And we are gonna make it global. Global equals true. Then we should remove this because we already have that on the runtime configuration. Action. I think we could have actually specified the migration directory here. But anyway, let's make that optional and also global true. Same with verbosity, default as 3. Yep. So that's that. Let's remove this. from CLI. So then we can say this is from migration directory. And what else do we need to migration flag? That comes from runtime configuration. No more is about strictness. Oh, this is if it's reversible or not. That's not a global configuration. It's not. So it's not really a global configuration. That's a local configuration. So I think we could check migration type. Yeah. What do you want to talk to me? Do you want me to end the stream? I can. Oh, that's good. Oh, I want some. Yeah, I'll just do a little bit more work actually. I need to end it because I've been on for a minute, but I'm just trying to get a little bit of work done because I really have to finish this whole thing tomorrow. I I have to. No, it's okay. I'm cool with the noise. All right, no worries. But I'm still here. Something else that comes to my mind is, rather than doing this here, maybe, just maybe, what if we, let's remove everything else, what if we do go to CLI itself and do I should probably call this file manager. File manager. in the case of generate, it's meant to infer, so it should auto detect. But when you're initializing, it should get from the reversible flag. Anyway. Set flag. So these we can probably remove this and you see how heavily that gets simplified. Suddenly we don't need all that anymore. And I'm gonna improve this also, but I'll come back to it. We shouldn't need this anymore. I shouldn't need this anymore. We could also improve this actually, but I'll come back to it. So suddenly we don't even need all this anymore. You see what I'm saying? So innate is done. Let's check this. So I would like to simplify this also. Can I call that? It can be next here. I think with that we probably don't even have to make this. I mean, What's this for? Why do we want this? We can implement a custom parser. Yeah, we can use value parser and media parser. Using this in other places actually. In that case, I think we would probably want to make this optional just to, because that's the only way to make that work. I wonder why you even come. It's almost like you're having fun. with me. But though he was admired by you, it's unavoidable. Come, after you home. Yep, we don't need to do. So that way we can take this off. I think this is gonna heavily simplify because now we've centralized everything. It just makes a lot more sense. So basically then we can remove this indirection. So this can actually even just take Yeah, you see, this is gonna be much simpler now. Um, okay. Let's gonna simplify that. And suddenly, we don't need all this indirection anymore. Nor do we need this. I mean, if we can also do so you have useful bookmarks. If they don't have sensitive content or private, you mark you mind sharing or bookmark. You mean in my browser, or what do you mean, Aran? I'm sure there are some probably private, but I can share the non-private ones. Most of them are not private. But what do you mean by bookmark? Do you mean in my browser or somewhere else? In my browser, okay. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of bookmarks actually. I can share them for sure. Maybe you know what I'm gonna do? I'll create a GitHub. I'll see if I can add them to my. Let me create a GitHub repo and add them to it. But how were you able to see them? I don't think I've shown them. Yeah, I can do that. Where are the book? Yeah, let me see if I can actually check them from my phone to see that there are no sensitive stuff there. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find them on my phone. I mean, I can share it. No, that's not a big deal. Bookmarks. Bookmarks. Yeah, I've got. Oh yeah, a lot of stuff actually. This one is about Rust. Let me see if I've got sensitive stuff. Yeah, you know what? I'll create a good idea, Aaron. I'll create a GitHub. I'm going through the bookmarks to see. Okay, I've got some personal stuff. The personal isn't actually that personal, but 1 second. I'll create a GitHub stuff and share it. That's a good idea. Bookmarks, bookmark bar. It's on personal and videos. Blog post code in Linux. Yeah, actually, it's not that sensitive. I can definitely share this. Let me go again just to be sure. Yep, I can share it, Haran. I will try to create a GitHub repo and just put By the way, one aspect of Rust which I have in mind to explore is macros, and I find them daunting. Are there any good resources on that? That is one thing in particular I want to get good at. Every time someone says they want to learn Rust, I say there are three languages you need to learn. Normal Rust, asynchronous metaprogramming. How did you go on about learning metaprogramming? Seem hard but super useful. I think the way I've learned is just by building. I know that sounds somehow, but that's how I've learned. But you know what? I'm actually creating a course on macro, and I'm also writing a book. So, because I was also in your shoe, and I wanted to really learn macro because I think it's so powerful. That's why I'm being able to build what I'm building, and I just felt like having a course would be nice. So I'm trying to create a course now that I wish I had when I started learning all these things. So I'm working on a course and a book actually, and I'm trying to have that course out in the first quarter of next year. So stay tuned for that. But the way I've learned is really by just digging through the code, because the documentation also aren't that good. The documentations on macros in Rust they could be better, but I'm creating a course to make it better. So the plan is that I'm almost done with this project I'm writing. So I'm planning to make the announcement for the course and the book. I actually am writing two books. I'm also writing a book for this tool that I'm creating. Also, I'm writing a book and a book on macro, and at the same time, I am creating a course for the two. So I'll write an announcement for both of them, and I'll also mention about it on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned. I don't know, what can I share to you where you can contact me? I mean, you have my GitHub. You can see my email in my GitHub. So you can, once I make the announcement for this project, which I'm planning to do maybe next month in January, because December is basically over because of the holidays. I'm making an announcement on 3 open source projects: Trust, SurrealORM, and CX. Once I make the announcement with that, I'll create there will be a pre-order for the course and the book. What do you think about async Rust and Rust concept interactive? More like Tokyo require you to arc everything, cause so can't you just, yeah, it can be a little bit tricky, but you don't have to arc. If you want to do a sync Rust, another alternative is to use like message passing. I mean, arc, the whole concept of arc is that you're trying to have a shared reference across threads, and you can also use channels. I mean, they are not mutually exclusive entirely, but like with channels you can, I think once you wrap the concept around your head, it becomes a lot less daunting. A good resource actually on async Rust and parallelism, concurrency, and all that is Maraus. I have the book also. It's called, oh, let me see if I can find it in my drive. Yeah. What's the book called? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Books on Rust atomics and locks. It's a good resource for like understanding all those things. Marabros, yeah, atomics and locks. Yeah, I think it's quite good. And most importantly, I think it's just about, I've done a lot of projects, and that was how I got very good with macro. I think I feel quite confident with it. now. I've done a lot of macro rules, a lot of more complex macro rules, declarative macros, procedural macros. I think I've read probably about 10 Rust books now. The most, but I would say the most useful one I found was plain the official book, and also programming in Rust. Those would be the two most important ones. The Tokyo book is also quite nice. Yeah, I've read Rust for Rustations. Rust for Rustations. Yeah, Atomics and Logs. I've found programming in Rust and the official book to be very helpful. Yeah, I didn't know about that, but I'm writing my book, and I'm also thinking of whether I should publish with O'Reilly or just self-publish. What do you think? But I'm definitely coming out with a course in first quarter of next year on Rust, and I'll be covering um, macro rules, doing advanced macro rules, then also just attribute macros. Tokyo book, which one? Like it's on the official Tokyo documentation. Then there's a sync Rust, but that when I read that, it still had some missing parts. Yeah, zero to prod. I followed his blog post. Then I was following it before he dropped the book. Yeah, it's very good. I would say Luca is like really Luca Maraus, John Genset, and I always mispronounce his name, Steve. I really enjoy Steve's talks. Like I would say, Steve. I don't want to mispronounce. I'll search it. Steve Club. I always get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes Steve Klabnik. I enjoy watching his talk. It's very good at delivering talks. Steve Klabnik is really good at delivering talks. Um, I wouldn't say it's. I think it just depends on your use case. It's totally fine to use Arc. I mean, check out parking lot. Maybe it might make it a bit easier to work with. There's parking lot, and there is if you haven't checked it out, there is Flume, and there is this third one. You don't have to use the actor model if you don't feel the need to. Mm-mm. Let's just use the reference here. What is the term bro on Arc Mutex versus so the rule of thumb for that, I mostly resort to dash map, which is a sharded concurrent dash map. Yeah, dash map is pretty brilliant. I wouldn't say I'm I'm an expert in what would be the ideal one, but I think um what's a good rule of thumb on what to use. Personally, I would use obviously when you're doing a lot of like asynchronous stuff, they are not mutually exclusive. That's the thing. You can also use like Arc Mutex even when you're doing like actor model and stuff. But when I'm doing a lot of just number crunching, and I need to just parallelize across threads, I just use Arc. But if I'm gonna be doing some IO stuff that are not like just CPU bound things, I think actor model can be quite useful in that um, category. and you can always mix and match. Yeah, redirect log, hash map. Yeah, dash map is actually pretty cool. And one thing I really like about Rouse is the way you can just encapsulate everything. If you think about things like Rayon, you just say parita and it parallelizes everything. Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's maybe an oversimplification, but let's go to init. Also, the Steve guy, could you provide a link to his blog? Or sure. Steve. He has a talk on YouTube. Steve Klabnik, Asynchrust. But you can just search him up. I'm not sure if he's on Twitter nowadays. But personally, I just enjoy this talk. So where am I? That's an interesting question. So I'm actually between Europe and North America, right? So why it's let me check. Yes, let me just use my normal account. Yep. One second. Let me try to find a link. I think he has a blog. He has a blog. I'm not sure if he still runs that blog, but at least he has a talk on YouTube. Let me see. I just generally enjoy his delivery of this. So where are you chatting from? Let's make that public. What else? When the pictures around you in just your eyes, another surrounds you. So this is innate, so probably want to just run to latest. Yeah, Crust of Rust is dope. Oh, Pakistan. How do you say good morning in Pakistan? I had a lot of friends in from Pakistan when I was in school, and of course at work also. To the day Where in Pakistan is that? So up to initialize, then yeah, we just pass in CLI. Yep. So CLI has that. And even prompter we can. Karachi, do you have recommended resource in one of your bookmarks? I don't want to open it live because I might have some sensitive stuff. GGG. I'll try to get them. I'm trying to be careful because I'm streaming. But I'll try to get them. I'll put them on GitHub. I think that would be the best, probably. Or what do you think? I wonder why you come. It's almost like you're having fun with me, but the weavers in my horizon. We don't need these anymore. It's an avoided outcome. I'm done. What the? Yeah, let's do it that way. Or maybe when I come back on the next stream, I can check properly and be better prepared. Coming back up. Yeah. Doing quite a large refactor. Can I find make name parser? Okay, it's not public. Why don't I just do this strategy this up? Okay, that's good. Let's do something for down also. Rollback strategy. Maybe. No, I have zero association with them. I I don't work with them. I don't know anyone there personally. This is completely open source and just my own project. It is 100% my own initiative, my project. Um, I did message Toby some time ago to come demo this in London, but I understand he's gonna be very busy, and I probably should have messaged probably someone else. That's the only interaction I've had with him, and I never got a response, which I totally understand. How did I get into Rust? That's a good question. So I wanted to start a project, right? I wanted to start building some software that I've had in mind for a while, and I felt like I was ready. But looking at your videos, it seems you were TypeScript, React, build. Yeah, I was. Well, it's actually kind of interesting. I started with Java, Ruby, Java, Python, R, Ruby, and MATLAB. So what actually happened was I was mostly doing machine learning and remote sensing, like a lot of map stuff, GIS, and GIS, geoinformatics, remote sensing, and data science. That was what I was doing. I got into software, so I started doing more TypeScript, JavaScript, React, Redux, all that stuff. Um, but what I wasn't really happy with about TypeScript, the build tool is one of it, and the other stuff was the churn in the ecosystem. Then the third one, the main one for me, the deal breaker for me is single threaded, right? Node.js is single threaded, and I didn't want to be bound by that. I didn't want to be limited by that. I couldn't do a number crunching app, a CPU intensive app in JavaScript. So I was waiting on maybe something was gonna happen. There's web workers and stuff, but still, you're just putting those things in the background. It's not really true threading. So I wasn't really pleased with it. Then I started searching. So I was looking to use C, C++, or Golang, and I started working with those. I'd worked with Golang, I think, a bit at this point, and I found Rust. I had a friend that mentioned that he would like to learn Rust some years ago, but I never really paid attention. But I saw the Discord blog post and I started diving deep. I started reading books, anything, and just started building projects. Yeah, I'm logging now. Um I'm not doing any tracing yet. I'm using pretty stuff. Let me check that. Mm, okay, I'm using log, and I'm also using pretty stuff, pretty logger or something. Pretty env logger. So let's go. I've got the file manager, I've got the DB, and the rollback option here. I'm using Neovim with Alacrity. So that's fixed. I'm kind of digging this, simplifying our stuff a lot, and also centralizing our configuration, which I'm liking. So this we just passing the CLI as an argument. I mean, it depends. It's not really that hard. Just you can once you, I mean, there is this initial order you have to cross, but if you can be patient enough to cross it, then you'll be good. Like if you can be patient to just, you're gonna be typing quite slow when you're getting started, but that's normal, right? Just like any other stuff. But once you're patient, I think after like a couple of weeks you start developing the muscle memory, and it's really good. So I would say give yourself a month to be very productive. Just learn the basic one first. JKL, JKL, and JKL. I've developed the muscle memory that I don't even know. And HJKL. Then understanding that you can do, like, if you want to go forward 5 times, you can do 5L, things like that. And G to go to the top. Double G to go to the top, capital G to go to the bottom. Just those basic. Once you start with the basics, that's a good resource. I think the official Neovim documentation isn't that bad. And I would say you can also install the Neovim plugin on VS Code, and don't get caught up doing the configuration yourself when you're getting started, because that could deter you. So just start simply and go from there. So this is actually good now that we've simplified that. So we're not duplicating state like we were anymore. Oh yeah, that would be really cool. How long did it take you to get good at Rust? Have you made use of God? generic associated types in your database somewhere. I've been looking inspiration. I think I've used that somewhere. Um, I'm not. I have been looking inspiration and next to the benefit. Yeah. I'm not sure. But I might have used it in one of these places actually. In my macro, I might have used it somewhere here. Um. I might have used it somewhere. No. Not there. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I've used it somewhere. Yeah, it would be nice to start removing a sync trait. I think there are still some edge cases, right? So it doesn't cover every scenario yet, but that's still very good. That is still very good. I'm excited myself. I generic associated type. I did read about it then. I read through these issues and stuff, but I actually don't have the vivid memory of the use cases. Um, but I'm pretty sure I've run into many scenarios where I felt like it would have been nice to have generic to be able to use like just your associated types, but be able to use generic with it. It'll be cool. Because right now you need to. What scenario can I think of? I think there are some like basic, like just being able to use generics there. But I was reading this blog post written by one of the members on the Rust team or something, and they were explaining the implication for some other more technical, like deep stuff in Rust itself, what it could unlock. I think some of them are even related to a sync await and a sync trade and stuff like that. That I don't remember very vividly. I read it like I don't know. Last was it this year or last year? Least status. Where am I actually using this status? Yeah. Oh yeah. So now I probably should be using value in yeah, value in and then let's standardize that here better. And here we pass in CLI. The nice, I'm really happy to be deleting all this, simplifying this a little bit. This will now be arg value in arg, and should probably be args, and then This should be CLI. Let's clone that. And now this should be CLI file manager to the file manager. Let's remove these pre-2 fragile stuff. This will be CLI runtime config mode. We don't need the unwrap or default anymore. Status, I believe we can take that off, and default value can be status dot, was it pending? Applied, and yep, string. Do I maintain notes? My projects are my notes, I think. I don't think I ever really maintain any proper notes. My way of maintaining notes is just working on this project. I really didn't spend much time. Like, I read a lot of books. I went through a lot of stuff, read a lot of things, but I just started building a lot of things. I'm more of a hands-on person. I like to just get my hands dirty and just tinker with stuff. But I definitely bookmarked a lot of resources for Rust, and I'll make a repo, like I mentioned, and share that. I'm probably gonna start. I'm going to start. What do you think about me starting? What's it called? Mailing list. What contributed more? I would say they contributed their own part. Reading the books first was very helpful because when I started building, I already understood fundamentally how things work, trait objects, parallelism, concurrency, the whole concept. I understood the fundamentals first before starting to build. So it was very easy for me when I never fought the borrow checker crazily. Like, I never had much problem fighting the borrow checker because I had read the book a lot. So when I do something, I know, the memory has moved here because I try to understand the ownership model as much as possible. Learning how reference counting work, atomic reference counting, and all those stuff. Yeah, I have a lot of plans actually. That's why I'm rushing this project. So what I will be doing a lot, mostly next year, would be launching the books. I'll be creating courses. So that's the plan. And I want my courses to be focused on, I think, the difficult topics, macros, and asynchronous. Oh yeah, that can be problematic, but you just put it in an async block and you move. That solves the problem. Worst case, you move it out. I think I've actually used closure with async today in one of my tests. I can show you an example if I haven't changed it. Probably should be in it if I haven't removed it. Let's see, async. Oh, I think Oh yes, so this is an example using closure, and yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of things coming soon, and I also want to be part of, because I always, before I started building this project, I always felt like, oh, I can't wait for this to start existing. I can't wait for this thing to start existing. Then I realized that the best way for me to um, let this exist is to actually build them. So I started building projects, and I think next year I'll be launching at least 10 solid open source Rust projects. I have about 5 almost ready to launch. So I am happy with that. I'm quite happy with it. So do you think I should start like a mailing list? And should it be focused on Rust alone? Yeah, you have to understand that cloning is totally okay. Like most of the vast majority of the time. I mean, it depends on the kind of software you're writing, but I would say even for like maybe the vast majority of the use cases, it's totally fine to clone. Um, at least when you're still trying to when you're ideating, just clone so you don't waste time with handling the references, because generics can pollute your code basically when you use generic in a place. And basically when you're dealing with lifetime are basically generics, right? When you have generic in a place, it pollutes anywhere you call that stuff. I mean, sometimes you can tell the compiler to guess it, but you cannot really guarantee that. So when you're ideating, another idea is to focus more on understanding your API. If you look at what I'm implementing now, this is probably like, if you've seen my last 3-4 streams, this is maybe like my 4th iteration, and with every iteration it gets better, it gets simpler, because I understand the API and what I'm reaching for better. I have better clarity. So the first thing is get it to work. When it works, then improve it. Don't try to improve it from the beginning. That's premature optimization, and it can also lead to feeling of not progressing. So get it to work, then improve it. So I'm a very iterative person. I like to just make something work, put it out there, then I can start improving things, if you get what I mean. If you get what I mean, if you mean what I get. So that is being cloned. Then actually we don't need this, and we shouldn't even have it because it's problematic. So let's do the same for reset. For reset, we don't need all that. Yep, parser should be changed to args, and clap, I should have done that for others also. All this should be changed to args. Yeah, mailing list focused on Rust. I'm signing up for that. Yeah, because I think I am quite informed. I mean, this will also push me to keep up to date to things. Yeah, you can drop your email. Maybe we can start the mailing list, and you'll be my first newsletter subscriber. We can start it here. Let's start the revolution. Or maybe, what would be a good way? Maybe I could even open a new repository, and you can add your. No, that's not a good idea, because then people can spam you. You can send your email to my email. It's on my GitHub page. CLI dot file manager. Nice. So we don't need all this anymore. You can just do that. Beautiful. And we also need CLI here. And we can also delete all this nonsense code. Let's clean up this part also. Yeah, I can have more generic mailing list and one focused on Rust. I actually have quite a lot planned for next year, and I'm so excited about it. First, do setup, no wait. After setting up, we are gonna have the database and all that. Okay, it's not a sync, isn't it? That's interesting. I'd have expected it to be a sync. But anyway. So 3 set up plugin. Shouldn't we have login within our test also? I think it would be nice to have. Oh, it's probably part of the setup already. Yeah, yep. So we can remove that and Copilot. Yeah, I actually started using Copilot. You watch my earlier video, I wasn't using it. It's okay. So this is the way I use Copilot. I avoid using Copilot for completing my logic. So I just use Copilot almost like a code snippet. You know, what do we call this stuff? Like VS code snippets, autocomplete. That's what I use it for. So let's say I've written something like let A equals 1, let B equals 2. It's very easy. Then I can start. You see, maybe not. That's not the best example. Then let's say I do let C equals 3. You can start maybe recognizing that pattern. It's easy. Then it's easy for me to see, right? That's the way I use it. But I don't use it for like completing my logic. Otherwise, bugs will just slip into your code without you realizing it. So I like to just watch my own code and see what's happening, and only use it as like superior autocomplete. So I don't rely on it for helping me think about my code, because I think that's potentially dangerous. Expected. So first let's finish the mod. Alright man, I appreciate you for joining in. It's been nice having you, chatting with you. I hope you have a wonderful night and Christmas in Karacha. Did I get it right? And have a wonderful night or whatever the time is. Wow, it's actually late here also in Urdu. Suba Suba Bakar. Suba Bakar Baikar. I hope I didn't commit blunder. I would, I would actually like to visit Pakistan. Wouldn't that be cool? Um, thanks for joining in. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Immutable borrow. Yep. Resets. Come over to okay. Move out. I want to clone this. Probably should commit this on time before I lose all the changes. That would be so painful. That would be so painful. I hope this doesn't mess me up. Rust analyzer is loading a little bit. I wonder why you even come. It's almost like you're having fun with me, but doing my signals and you is unavoidable outcome. What the you got? Have to remember. Oh, be quick! I really want to finish this little refactoring tonight so that I can finish all the tests tomorrow. Because this is gonna simplify our test like dramatically. So I want to finish this and finish all the tests tomorrow. That's my plan. Because I was actually meant to implement something for Trust like a couple of days ago already. I'm behind schedule on that. Yeah. It's taking so long to load, and I don't wanna freak it out because I haven't saved all my changes. Why does it take so long? Don't bail on me because I need to commit all this code. Are you there? Are you sleeping already? Alright, I'm trying to wrap up a couple of stuff, then I'll call it a day or a night. Yeah, someone called me earlier that he would like us to hang out together tonight. I knew it wasn't gonna I knew it wasn't gonna turn up, so I never really bothered to prepare. And I was right. Because I also have a lot to do, so I didn't mind at all. Oh, new rim. What did you say? Oh, cool. I want some. I want some. Yeah. Aren't I entitled to it? What did you say? Yeah, me neither. Like it's crazy. It's almost like 12:30. Like that's crazy. Like yesterday went by so like a twinkle of an eye. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's good. Cause was it last week when I lost some of my work? I'm trying to avoid that. I lost some of my work while I was working. I didn't push it to GitHub. Ugh. I need to probably stretch a little bit. I'm coding in the most terrible posture. Um, I always try to go to the gym every morning. You say what? Yeah, I go. I mean, I went to the gym. That was yesterday. Um, yeah, I was at the gym. I'm trying to do at least 6 times a week now, and maybe even seven if possible. 2 leg days. I do like just other stuff some other days, but I'm trying to do at least 6 times a week now. Um, you know what? I need to chill a little bit. Yes.
The weather was actually quite good today, wasn't it?
Are you sleeping already? Is my AirPod just dead? Turn off the air conditioner a little bit. It's getting cold. Yeah, it's nice to change posture. Ooh, should probably be sitting on a chair, but whatever. Yep. Yeah, I still need the. Or should runtime config be responsible for? I think it kinda is. So actually prune can basically almost be a unit, but we're gonna leave it that way. Are you sleeping already? Why you gonna bail on me like that? Why you gonna why you gonna bail on me like that? Why would I do that? No, 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 I'm mad. That would never be me, never. I called you back, didn't I? Did you see my call? Okay. It's okay. I forgive you. No, I forgive you. I forgive you. It's okay. I forgive you. You think so? You wanna start the fight now? I'm da- I'm ready. I'm ready for you. If you wanna start the fight, never, ever, never ever. Um, that shan't be me. It could never be me. I do. In sickness and health, for each apart. Um, let's do this. This might cause some issues down the line. I'm actually getting hungry. When last did I eat? In the evening? I've actually eaten only grilled sliced meat beef today. That's all I've eaten. Yeah, just trying to prove my carnivorous spirit to you. Pardon? Yeah, actually, I'm gonna drop it pretty soon because I fixed what I was trying to fix. I'm just doing a little bit of test and stuff. Verbal migration there. Or maybe now I can actually change migration there to path since I'm not using. Oh, I call it out there because we're dealing with migration. Anyway, I can think about that later. Yeah, it's nice to have everything at the top. Hmm. I'm famished. Let's see what tests are gonna pass or fail. Okay, they're failing. That's a good news. Failed to get DB. Let's see how we're getting DB in the we go to Setup should undo. Sign up the database. I think since we're done with the refactoring, I'll probably take a break here because if I keep on pushing, it might be a bit tricky for me to debug this. It's better for me to relax and come back refreshed in the morning and debug this and fix it. I know it's probably something minor, but I've been streaming throughout the day and I think I deserve a little break. Thanks guys for joining. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful night, evening, afternoon, day. Peace, good breathing. I love you guys. Cheers.